Welcome back to another video, guys. It is your boy Kesh, and as I promised before, we're gonna roll out these videos. And today I'm going to talk to my procrastinators out there who think that they have absolutely no hope. I'm gonna give you guys some tips and some tricks. I'm gonna help you get out of your procrastinating ways, because I'm gonna be very honest with you. You're not going to get anywhere if you keep putting shit off and if you keep letting things slide, right? Now, as you can see by the title of the video, anxiety is unfinished business. And a lot of you, right, a lot of us who have dealt with anxiety can't seem to find a reason or a root for why it's there. Maybe you have social anxiety. Maybe you have anxiety opening your mail, right? Maybe you have anxiety going to the gym. Maybe you have anxiety around romance. Whatever your anxiety is, I can assure you that there is something that you are putting off. And it's only something that you can figure out for yourself. But I'm going to show you ways that I was able to do it for myself so that maybe it can inspire you and then maybe it can help you find the root of your own anxiety. But again, right? Anxiety is just unfinished business. And what I mean by this is your brain will make something humongous the more you avoid it, because it signals avoidance with something scary. It signals your avoidance with a big monster chasing you down the street, when we all know the things that we're dealing with that give us the most anxiety usually aren't going to be posing any physical threat or any threat that could unalive you. However, the more you continue to put off the work that you need to do, the greater these things become, and then they begin to cause problems, not only in the actual thing that you're avoiding, but they become a trickle-down effect where you become cowardly in all the things and all the endeavors that you pursue. Human beings are not good multitaskers, guys, right? I know we love to believe that we are these apex predators who can do anything. One of the things we can't do, we can't multitask properly. And this isn't just in the physical realm, right? Where, I have to cook and then I brush my teeth and, that I'm doing all these other things, right? Because the problem is that one of those things is either not going to get done properly, or none of those things are going to get done properly because the adequate energy and attention are not being able to be placed into these things that I am doing. So with that in mind, when you are harboring unfinished business, your brain is keeping track. Your brain is saying, you didn't do that. You didn't make those videos, Kesh, right? Now, the confidence kind of weighs a little bit. The trust in oneself really isn't there. Self-doubt starts to creep in. And unless you're able to practice regulation and mindfulness, you're going to start listening to those thoughts and think that they are real. So I say all of that to say, when you're not doing what you know you're supposed to be doing, on the next task that you do, you're not going to have the adequate energy, first and foremost. You're not going to have the adequate self-trust, and your brain is going to be giving you negative feedback, making it that much harder for you to accomplish pretty much anything else that you're doing. How many of you have gotten into conversations with people, and while you're talking to someone, you didn't read that book you said you were going to read, and then you're like, fuck, right? And now you're out of the moment. Now you're all fucked up. Now you can't even continue the conversation, and people can feel the incoherence, the lack of congruence in your behavior. You start getting fidgety. You start getting out of the moment. Now you're thinking, oh, do I go home and read that book or make that video? If you want to avoid being out of the present moment and being able to lock in into deep work and whatever it is that you're doing, you need to set time aside to accomplish and to do the things that you are putting off and have been putting off for years, or else your anxiety will only get worse. I'll give you all a great example, and I may have talked about it in another video. I own a business, and I had to get my business license in a particular state, right? At the time, I was consumed with work. We had just opened up a new office who I was working with this company. And I said, I have so much to do here. I'm just going to put that over to the side and just forget about it. Time goes on and it keeps coming back. Get your license, get your license, get your license, right? And not only did that weigh down, obviously, on my ability to accomplish other things, because if you're not able to do something as simple as that, how are you going to do the big things? All right? Stay with me. Now, the crazy part about it is, guys, is that when I finally freaking got the license, it took 5 minutes. I put it off for a whole year. And every time I was going to get to it, oh, it's too much work. It's going to take forever. They're going to ask me for a bunch of information, right? I have too much going on. And what it does is over time, it's actually slowing you down. Those small things that you're avoiding, that anxiety that's being created by those small things that your brain then creates big, or that your brain then turns into these big problems, what's going to happen is that it's going to slow you down. It's going to lessen your energy. And now you have less energy to do every other thing. And since you're working with less energy to do all of those other things, including big things, you make more mistakes. More mishaps happen. You got worse luck. Your brain turns on you more often because your brain is a data storage. Everything that happens is just data. Your brain then synthesizes all of this information, puts it together, and then you have an overall performance test that you do on yourself. And when that performance test goes, can't do the little things, neglects this, procrastinates on that, right? Now, what your brain's going to do is it's going to turn on you. It's going to say, well, he can't handle it, I'll take over. And then that's how you stay stuck in survival mode. That's how you stay stuck in anxiety, right? That's how you begin to use the higher parts of your brain, right? They say we only use a certain percentage of our brain, although we have the capacity to use more. That's when you stay stuck in those lower level emotions, lower level energy, lower level usage rates. You want to give your brain as little BS to process as possible. You want to give your brain the ability to say, this guy, this gal is fully locked in, because once you do that, guys, and I assure you of this, once you do that, magic. Now your soul takes over. You can use higher parts of your brain. You have more energy, and your consciousness goes from this to this. And this is how you begin to make breakthroughs that you could have never thought were possible before. Because how could you? If you're looking at life through this lens and I tell you that there's a TV and there's a person over there, you're like, no, there's not. I can't see it. But if I gave you this full lens, now you can see it. What anxiety does is that it constricts your consciousness. When you give yourself less things to be anxious about by putting in effort, just effort, by acting, by behaving like God. And again, what I mean by that is God is the first mover. What God said is, let there be light. Magic. Let there be sound. Music. All you need to do is take one step at a time. Not 50, not 10, one step. What am I avoiding today that I know that I should be doing? Did I talk to more strangers today like I told myself I would? Oh, I did. Okay, so the next time around I'm less anxious. All right, I'm talking to 2 strangers tomorrow. Then you talk to 2. A month, 2, 3 months later, now you can talk to a whole crowd, right? So again, guys, it is so important for you to not let shit slide and become a bigger problem than it actually is. You always want to manage things at the lowest level. If it means reading a book about whatever subject that you're looking to hone in on and gain mastery, if it means going to a seminar, if it means actually putting yourself out there, start small and build upon that. but do not let shit slide and constrict the beautiful, enormous consciousness that you have the capacity to embody because you're afraid, right? Because I assure you, two things are going to happen. You're either never going to take action and you're going to regret it later on 100%. The biggest regret that people have is I wasn't authentic enough. Or you're going to actually do it and then you're going to laugh a few months later and say, well, did I wait so long? So with that being said, thank you all for watching. It's your boy Kesh, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.